Oh, we're live. Oh my goodness, we are live. We are live. We are so live. All right, guys. I'm gonna let the notifications go out here. I've never done a live stream on the second channel. This is the first live stream in the history of the second channel, so I hope you guys actually get notifications here on like this this live stream. I honestly don't know if anybody gets notifications or not, but we're going to be talking a little bit about Tesla, and if it goes to $0, if Tesla stock goes to $1,000, why does it matter? What does it matter to me? I'm going to tell you guys some stuff about Elon Musk that you guys might not know. Only the super in-depth investors will know about why it matters to Elon Musk what Tesla stock does. And it's not just because he's the biggest shareholder of Tesla. It actually matters for a lot of different reasons. So I'm going to explain that in this live stream. But anyways, hope you guys are doing great out there. It looks like we have a small audience for this video compared to the main channel. I think on the main channel the other day we had, on the Tesla earnings live stream, I think we had 4,000, at the peak, 4,500 people watching that live stream live at a given time. Like, that was just ridiculous. Like, that was crazy. That's all I have to say about that. But anyways, hope you guys are doing great out there. Good morning, good morning. So I want to talk a little bit about if Tesla stock goes to $0, if Tesla stock goes to 1,000 over the next few years, kind of what happens, why does that matter, and all those sorts of things. Okay, so obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's say the most bearish case plays out, and let's say Tesla goes to literally $0 a share over the next, let's say, 3 years or whatever, right? Let's say that happens. The bearish case, all comes true, and oh my gosh, Tesla goes bankrupt and becomes an insolvent company, and they can't raise money, and it's a very unrealistic situation. But let's say that actually plays out, and that's what ends up happening. Okay, so that happens, and I would be out about 50. I think I have between like $55,000 and $58,000 invested in a Tesla. So I would be out essentially, let's say 57,000 for a rough number. So I would be out $57,000. That wouldn't be good. That would be my worst investment ever by far and away for me personally. Once again, not a very realistic scenario, because here's the thing with Tesla, okay? This is the fastest growing automobile manufacturer in the world. Take away their technology, take away Elon Musk, take away what they're doing in self-driving, all those sorts of things, okay? You still break it down at the end of the day, it's the fastest growing automobile manufacturer that's doing mass scale by far and away in the world. They just grew revenue 60%. They've been growing consistently at a very, very rapid pace. So the chances they go to zero, very unrealistic, because, somebody would buy them out. Everybody would want to buy them out. Ford, General Motors, anybody. And strip out the costs, take down the research and development, and go ahead, and then you own the Tesla brand, and you own the, top automobile manufacturer in the world when it comes to electric vehicles. So, it's a very unrealistic scenario that the stock would go to $0, literally. By the way, hit a thumbs up if you're enjoying this live stream, guys. I could do more of them on the financial education too. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this. But very unrealistic scenario, but it's possible. So I would be out, $57,000 roughly on the investment, and that would be the worst ever by far. Like, that would be just disaster. Okay, but that's the worst case scenario with Tesla. It goes to zero. Okay, now let's think about this. For Elon Musk, that would also be a disaster, because the majority of Elon Musk's wealth, let's think about Elon Musk for a minute. He's got a lot of wealth in a company called SpaceX. So he has big ownership in this company named SpaceX, which is, a company that's flying rockets and trying to be able to move people to Mars and doing all types of crazy stuff. Okay, so a lot of his net worth is in that SpaceX company, and then also some of his net worth is in some of his other companies he's doing. He's got like an artificial intelligence company and all these different things he's doing. Okay, so he's got money spread out along a lot of companies. Now, Elon Musk is not an individual that actually has a lot of cash. He's just not, okay? I mean, he's got a lot of cash if you're comparing him to an average person, but for the fact that he's worth, tens of billions of dollars, he's actually not got a lot of cash. He's got crazy money, but it's all basically equity in a lot of these big companies like a Tesla or whatnot, okay? So if a Tesla was to go bankrupt, it would be a disaster for his net worth. It would be a disaster for him personally, because basically he would lose a lot of credibility in the markets. And one of the great things Elon Musk is, so phenomenal at, is raising money and being able to get people to believe in him, invest their money with him, big funds, high net worth individuals, all those sorts of things. That's one of the reasons why Elon Musk is in the place he's in, because not a lot of people can do the type of things he's doing. I'm not talking about, the technology and pushing people forward and getting the best out of your employees. I'm talking about raising ridiculous amounts of money for all these different companies, getting people excited about it. That's not an easy thing to do. Not just everybody can pull that off. Okay, so if Tesla goes bankrupt, it would be a disaster for him. That's why he absolutely needs Tesla to succeed in the biggest way possible. He can't have Tesla just be, some kind of other company. He needs this to absolutely be, because if Tesla works out for Elon Musk, and I'm talking about, obviously you could already make an argument that it's worked out, getting to this point, but I'm talking about big works out, as in becomes one of the biggest companies in the world. Elon Musk will be able to raise any money he needs for any company for pretty much the rest of his life. Like, it's just going to be how it is. So he absolutely needs it to succeed. Now, another reason is, not a lot of people know this, but basically he has like a 10-year contract with Tesla. And if Tesla goes to certain prices by certain dates, he's going to make so much money, it's kind of disgusting, okay? So if Tesla stock goes to, I don't have all the specific numbers here, but you could look up his contracts and whatnot with Tesla. But if Tesla really goes crazy over the next several years, over the next 5 years, and let's say this is $1,000 stock like we talked about, he's going to get so much money worth of stock options, you wouldn't even believe it, okay? So he would make so much money off that, it would be insane. He would also get more equity that he could, or basically more options that he could turn into equity of Tesla shares, which I'm sure he would love. Okay, Elon Musk is not an individual that could ever get enough Tesla shares or just equity in his own companies in general. So it's so much in stock options if this stock really goes. And that's another reason why I really like Tesla as an investment, not just because of everything they're doing with electric vehicles and self-driving and the growth and blah blah blah, and the tech they have and the patents, all those sorts of things. Another big reason I like Tesla as an investment, I feel comfortable having $57,000 or whatever invested in it that I have in it, is the fact that the CEO, the man in charge of that company, is highly aligned with my interest. What is my interest in Tesla? I want the stock up over time, okay? I want to make a lot of money from the stock. And the CEO is in a position where not only does he want the company to succeed because of electric vehicles and pushing all that forward, by the way, there's a Model 3 right there. Nice Model 3. Beautiful. Now it makes me wish I was driving my Model 3. Oh well. But let me not get sidetracked here. But anyways, yeah, he's highly aligned with the shareholders. You gotta understand, a lot of these companies you can invest in, a lot of times the CEO's not even very aligned with the shareholders, okay? So, they might get a big compensation for just showing up, doing their job. They might get, 10 million a year or 20 million a year or whatever for running a big company like Tesla, but they actually don't have any ownership of the company. And so they get paid their salary, but if the stock goes up 30% or 50% or 100%, does it really mean that much to them? In a lot of these scenarios, it doesn't. So that's another reason why I, really like Tesla as an investment, okay? Now, let's also talk about, what happens if this stock goes to $1,000 a share, which I think is a much more realistic scenario in this whole thing. Our 57,000 turns into roughly $250,000, something there around roughly. Now, what needs to happen for Tesla stock to go to $1,000 a share? Okay, that's a long way from here. Tesla today trades at $220 or something like that, $220, $230 a share. What needs to happen over the next, let's say, 3 years for Tesla to become $1,000 stock? A stock that's worth $1,000 a share. A company you make 4x your money, 5x your money. What needs to happen? Well, quite a bit needs to happen, okay? But the good news is they're already on this track, okay? So one, they're going to need to, 3 years from now, it's pretty much, I mean, you can make an argument that's already almost set in stone as far as who's going to be the #1 electric vehicle maker. But in 3 years from now, it will absolutely be set in stone on who's going to be the biggest player there, who's going to be the most dominant player, okay? So, by the way, let me know your guys' opinion on Tesla stock and your opinion on Tesla in general. I would love to kind of read through these comments once I post this video up. And by the way, hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying this live stream, guys. I can do more of these on the financial education too. That'll let me know if you guys enjoy the live streams or not. But, okay, so to be $1,000 a share, let's say in 3 years, Tesla's going to need to pull some things off, okay? So one, they're going to need to be by far and away the dominant electric vehicle maker, okay? I'm talking they need to be beating Ford, General Motors, Volkswagen, because by that time, everybody will have electric vehicles in the market. It'll be no excuse on, oh, well, we haven't really showed up to the race yet. Like a lot of these auto manufacturers are saying as of right now, they're like, oh, you know, everybody's pretty much got an electric vehicle of some kind coming in the market within the next year. So, but, you know, 3 years, you fast forward 3 years from now, everybody's going to have an electric vehicle in the market. BMW, well, they already have a few. They only have one that's actually nice. Volkswagen, Ford, General Motors, everybody's going to have all their electric vehicles in the market, and we're going to see how those ones actually sell. Okay, we're going to see how those ones actually sell in the real world, and if those electric vehicles are just flops, which we know most companies have flopped with their electric vehicles right now. You kind of look at the numbers. You just look at the numbers. Tesla's the only company putting up big numbers in electric vehicles in North America or Europe, pretty much. Everybody else is flopped. I mean, you just look at the Chevy Bolt and some of these different vehicles, they've all flopped so far. They're moving hundreds of units a month. And, you know, Tesla's over here moving thousands in a given week. So they're just on two different levels. So if Tesla's stock is going to go to $1,000 a share over the next number of years, they need to still be the dominant electric vehicle maker, okay? They need to be making, Tesla's going to need to be making about 35,000 to about 55,000 electric vehicles a week, okay? A week. They're going to need to be making 35,000 to 55,000 electric vehicles a week to get this to $1,000 stock over the next 3 years, roughly. Okay, so once again, that's you know, that's a pretty hefty goal. They're trying to get right now. If you don't know, Tesla's trying to get to a place where they make 10,000 electric vehicles a week. Okay, they're getting pretty close, and they should get there by the end of 2019. But 10,000 to 35,000 to 55,000. That's still a little ways away. Needless to say. Okay, very doable though. Here's why it's very doable. One, they need to keep up the strong demand. Two, Model Y is coming, okay? Model Y has a very much likelihood that vehicle will sell better, especially in North America, than actually Model 3, okay? And you think about the Model 3 numbers they put up, it's been phenomenal. It's been amazing. But Model Y has a chance to be even better. Not only up and running within the next probably 3 to 4 months. Holy smokes, that's a small dog. That's going to be up and running within the next production. Now, not going to be the full deal. People even know that, okay? So when this Shanghai Gigafactory opens up in 3 or 4 months roughly, that's going to be phase 1. They're going to add additional production phases down the road, and more than likely additional space down the road as well, okay? So if that's a factory that's producing, let's say 150,000 cars, or excuse me, 150,000 vehicles per year initially, it's gonna probably long term, that Shanghai Gigafactory, as it's fully built out and more space and all those sorts of things, that could be a factory that's probably doing 500,000 or more electric vehicles per year. So now you're starting to talk about some real big numbers there. They're gonna need to obviously utilize every bit of space in the Reno Gigafactory over time. So if you're looking out 3 years to get this stock to $1,000, they're obviously going to need more production space. They're going to need more production efficiency. They're going to need to be able to put the cars together faster, in a more efficient manner. and obviously do it in a profitable way that the company's making very, big numbers as far as positive net income to get this company to a place where the stock is valued at $1,000 a share. Okay, that's all very, very possible. I mean, you think about how much Tesla has learned as a car company over the past several years. You fast forward that a number of years, and they're going to be at a much, much bigger level. Let me park real quick here, and we'll finish up this chat. So yeah, a lot of things are going to need to happen to get this car company to $1,000 a share over the next number of years. But I honestly, if you're placing a bet one way or another, does Tesla go to 0 or does Tesla go to 1,000? You could make an argument that it's easier to go to 0 than 1,000, because if the shares are 220 or whatever right now, it's a lot closer to 0 than it's closer to 1,000. But if you really think about it on a fundamental basis, which I like to base most of my investment decisions on a fundamental basis, risk versus reward, you got to always ask yourself going in, what's the risk with the investment? What's the reward with the investment? If you really think about it in a risk reward standpoint, what are the chances Tesla goes to 0? I would say very, very low. They would have to consistently lose money. Elon Musk would suddenly have to not be able to raise money. Elon Musk can raise money for anything at any time. He just raised $1 billion from Microsoft for an artificial intelligence company that hasn't proven anything yet. Like in a snap of fingers, okay? So Elon Musk, to go to $0 a share, Tesla would have to still lose money years into the future. And Elon Musk would have to suddenly not be able to raise any money from anybody out there. All of a sudden, all banks would say, no, we're not going to loan you any more money, Elon Musk. We're going to shut you off. All the other big tech companies would have to all of a sudden say, no, we're not going to, make an investment in you guys. All the private equity firms would have to say, nope, we're not investing in Tesla. It is so unbelievably unrealistic, and I think that's what the bears just don't get. I understand the bear case. They see this as an unprofitable company, and it's growing like crazy and things like that, but they kind of disregard that. But they're like, well, Tesla doesn't make any money, so eventually they're going to run out of money and they're not going to have any money. Okay, when's that going to happen? Because let's just assume they continue to lose money. Elon Musk can raise money. The bears just don't understand that. Elon Musk has unlimited capabilities to raise money. Unlimited capabilities. When you think about how well networked he is, it's almost impossible for him not to raise money. Like I said, he just got $1 billion from Microsoft for an artificial intelligence company. It's nothing. It is nothing for Elon Musk to raise massive amounts of capital from either big investment funds out there or from just, other big tech companies or investors in general. And that's the bear case. They just refuse. They refuse to understand that point. That Tesla could literally go years into the future and still not be profitable, and Elon Musk would still keep the company afloat because he would be able to raise massive amounts of capital. Okay, not just from not from let's just not even say car companies, but from big tech companies, from high net worth individuals. He's well networked with all the other billionaires out there. They all want a piece of him. I mean, literally, the bear case for $0 a share is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the craziest things that bears really think Tesla stock could go to $0, because when you think about it on a fundamental basis, it literally just doesn't make sense. If this wasn't just an average Joe running the company, Tesla would have been bankrupt like a million years ago, okay? If this was CEO Rick Johnson running this company, okay, the company would have been bankrupt over a decade ago. The company would have been bankrupt in 2008, okay? Facts. If this was anybody other than Elon Musk running this company, it would be bankrupt in 2008, okay? Let me tell you another year they would have been bankrupt: 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, okay? Anybody other than Elon Musk running this company, the company would have been bankrupt every year along the way. What has kept Tesla afloat is the fact that Elon Musk can raise money at any time. And that's what the bears just don't get through their head, okay? And so if you're a bull on this stock and you're bullish around this stock, You have to understand you're living and dying with Elon Musk. Okay, at the end of the day, this is an abnormal investment because, you know, a lot of my investments, honestly, it doesn't really matter who's CEO. The company will probably do pretty well in the future. Okay, with Tesla, it's different. With Tesla, it's a company you're investing and you're giving your faith in basically Elon Musk. Okay, it's a different sort of investment, but you're getting a potential reward that is so big that in a lot of our cases, it makes sense to deploy some capital toward this investment. You asked me, by the way, make sure you guys hit a thumbs up if you're enjoying this live stream. For all you guys that just joined, I hope you guys are enjoying it. You know, that lets me know if you guys enjoy these live streams and whatnot. We can do more in the future. But let me get back on track here. What is this guy doing? I think he wants to talk to me, but I don't have time to talk right now. I'm on a live stream, man. But anyways, so a lot of us bulls, we're putting the faith in Elon Musk. We're counting on this guy to grow the company massively, to give us that potential reward on the flip side that makes, I guess you can say, the stress of investing in Tesla, because Tesla does have probably more stress than most stocks out there. There's so much drama around this stock all the time. There's so much negativity from the media around Tesla. Like, you know, we've talked about that on the channel. You know, watch my video called CNBC Hates Tesla or whatever it's called. You know, it's obvious. You know, there are a lot of media outlets that have a bias against Tesla, and they have financial reasons to have a bias against Tesla. So it has a lot of drama. You know, you're always going to have the bears constantly pushing a big negative narrative around Tesla. That's something you have to deal with this stock. Okay? And there aren't a lot of stocks out there that get this type of press. They get the negativity around it like a Tesla stock does. And it's because there's a massive short float. We talked about this in the other live stream the other day. There's 41 plus million shares that are short sold Tesla, okay? People want this company to fail. They need this company to fail. And in the biggest way possible. They need the company to fail more than we need the company to succeed, okay? Honestly, at the end of the day, these bears absolutely, they need the company to fail in the biggest way possible. So Tesla's a drama stock. It's a drama stock, and you have to be willing to deal with that with this particular stock. And it's always funny that, you know, a lot of people think like a 10 or 15% move in Tesla stock price really matters to a lot of us bulls, and it doesn't. You know, to people that are swing trading Tesla, yeah, like 10 to 15% move or even a 50% move, it matters so much to them. They could lose so much money. They could make so much money. To most of us bulls, like literally, if Tesla was to go up 50% today, let's say some news broke, Tesla was go up 50. If Tesla went up 50% today, and Elon Musk announced, you know, Saudi Arabian like investment fund is going to buy out Tesla, or whoever was going to buy out Tesla for 50% premium, I'd be super disappointed. I'd make $25,000 plus in a day, and I'd be disappointed. Disappointed in a big way. I'd make over $25,000 in a day, and I'd be pissed as F. Because I'm not in this stock to make $25,000. I'm in the stock to make $200,000. Okay, there's a difference. That's why I'm in this stock. There are plenty of other stocks that I own that if they went up 50% and they got sold out, I'd be happy. I'd be like, oh sweet, take my profit. Tesla's not that stock. If I was just in Tesla stock to make $25,000, I wouldn't be messing around with this stock. It's not worth the level of attention you have to pay to the stock. It's not worth the risk you have to take with the stock. It's not worth all the drama you have to deal with this stock. If I was just in the stock to make $25,000, I wouldn't be in this stock, okay? I'm in the stock to make $200,000 plus. That's why I'm in the stock. That's why I have my money deployed in this stock. Is to get the huge potential gains if things work out. That's the bottom line with this particular stock. It's a freak stock. It's way different. This isn't, you know, a Facebook for me, okay? Facebook is going to grow into the future. I'm going to make my 20% plus a year on Facebook stock, and it's all good. Tesla's not that type of stock. Tesla's all or nothing, pretty much, okay? Tesla's the type of stock that we're trying to make huge money in, okay? But at the same time, we can't we can't risk the farm with that stock. It's why it's not a six-figure position. It's why I have 57,000 invested in instead of 250,000 or something like that, because you got to obviously manage your risk as well. But once again, if you're thinking about this stock, is it going to $0? Is it going to 1,000? It's just so black and white that it has a much better chance to go to 1,000 than 0, even though 0 is a lot closer to $220 a share than 1,000 is. You got a man with unlimited resources. That's what Elon Musk is. If you really like break it down, what is Elon Musk? Okay, you could say visionary. You could say a person that's able to get his employees to do amazing things. Like, you look at the tech that's in a Model 3, it's amazing. Okay, you look at the factories that they have, it's all amazing stuff. But if you really think about what is Elon Musk, he's pretty much an unlimited resource in the terms of he can raise money whenever he wants to raise money. And let's even go to a recession scenario, okay? By the way, hit a thumbs up if you're enjoying the live stream, guys. That lets me know if you're enjoying it. Let's talk about a recession scenario, because this is another one some of the bears like to mention, okay? They say, well, Elon Musk is raising money right now. What happens when a recession happens and money gets tight and there's not as much money to go around, okay? Let's talk about that for a minute. I think it's worth addressing, okay? So, as of right now, Elon Musk has shown ability to raise money for Tesla or any of his companies at will. Anytime he wants to raise money, he can raise money. Let's say a recession happens, okay? Money gets tight. Is he still able to raise money? And here's kind of what we got to think about, okay? He was able to do it in the 2008-2009 recession, which was an absolute disaster recession. If you don't know, 2008-2009 recession was probably the worst, or at least one of the worst we had since the Great Depression. Capital markets completely dried up. The entire banking system nearly collapsed. If it wasn't for a government bailout, every big U.S. bank would have probably went out of business, and we would have went into literally a Great Depression in this country, okay? Unemployment rate would have went to 22, 25+%. It would have been catastrophic, okay? Put this in context for a minute. The entire financial system literally almost collapsed, and Elon Musk was still able to raise money for Tesla. Tesla was a nobody company at that time. Nobody company. Like 2008, 2009, who the hell even knew of Tesla? If you knew a Tesla, you were a super big nerd freak, okay? If you knew a Tesla in 2008, in 2009, like, you're really up on your stuff, okay? You're like the biggest Tesla fan in the world, okay? I had no clue who Tesla was till about 2012, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. So if you knew of them in 2008, 2009, dude, you're a business freak, or you're just like a big Tesla fan or something, okay? So, once again, he raised money. He was able to successfully raise money in that environment. A no-name company named Tesla, in the Great Recession, when everybody's tight on money, no one wants to loan money, the entire financial system literally almost collapsed, and he was able to raise money from investors for Tesla at that time to get the company through those tough times. And keep in mind, 2010, 2011, money was still tight. We weren't in the recession anymore, but money was still tight in those years, okay? And he was still able to raise and get Tesla through all those years, okay? Now let's just imagine there's a 2020 recession that happens, okay? Now the chances the entire financial system nearly collapses, extremely low. The banks are in a way different place. If you look at their balance sheets and whatnot, they're in a way different place than they were in 2007 and 2008. It's dramatically different, okay? So the chances we have a recession where the entire financial system literally almost collapses, very, very low, okay? So one, if we have a recession over the next, let's say, year or two, it'll be I don't want to say necessarily a mild recession, but it wouldn't be mild to medium. It wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, the world's ending type recession, because the banking system would be able to get it through. The government's obviously has shown the ability to throw money into the market, and that's just, it is what it is, okay? You could be mad about that. You could be like, we should have to go through these tough times. It is what it is, okay? We're not going to go off on that subject today. But needless to say, recession happens, 2020, 2021, whatever year it is. Think about Tesla's position now. And imagine they're going into a situation where they have to raise money against Ford and General Motors and they wouldn't really be Volkswagen, because Volkswagen's obviously a European company, but let's just say other auto manufacturers. Because remember, the auto manufacturers, most of them, at least as far as the US ones, were bailed out. They were bailed out during the Great Recession, okay? So I think all of them except Ford took government money. Okay, all the big auto manufacturers, except I believe it was Ford, they all took government money, and that's what got them through the Great Recession. Okay, so let's imagine there's another scenario where we have let's just say it's a huge, massive recession. Okay, like colossal, and Tesla's trying to raise money, Ford's trying to raise money, General Motors is trying to raise money, and all these different auto manufacturers. Who's getting the money first? Who's getting the money first? Okay, we're going to a future that's all electric vehicles. We're going to a future that's all around autonomous driving, cars that drive themselves. Who's going to get the money? Is it going to be Ford? Is it going to be General Motors? Is it going to be Volkswagen, BMW? Who's going to get the money? Is it going to be Nissan? I would say the first company that would get the money is Tesla. So if you're thinking about who could raise money even in a recession scenario, it's going to be the company that is the future. And if you think about the company that's the future, it's obviously Tesla. Okay, the companies of the past are the ones that are putting up the biggest numbers right now. Okay, the ICE auto manufacturers that are doing tens of billions of dollars of revenue a quarter. Those are the car companies of the past, and they're the ones that have done great. But when you go into the unknown, which is electric vehicles and autonomous driving, all these sorts of things, who are you placing your money on? You're going to be placing your money on Tesla. The only reason you would put money into a Ford or General Motors or any other big auto manufacturer out there is strictly because you feel like it's got a low valuation. You feel like the P's low or something like that. You don't buy General Motors stock because you think they're going to be the biggest company 5 years from now. You just don't. There's no one buying General Motors. They just feel like, maybe they'll be able to still stay relevant, and it's a really cheap PE and awesome, okay? You don't buy Ford. If you're, investing in Ford, you're putting your money in Ford stock. You're not putting your money in that stock because you believe Ford's going to be a company doing, much bigger revenues in the future. Ford, General Motors, Volkswagen, all these companies, they would be happy. They would be happy if they could just break even over the next several years in terms of the amount of cars they sell. By the way, the amount of cars a lot of these companies are selling is already going down. Okay? And we haven't even seen electric vehicles get to massive scale. Like, electric vehicles were about 2% of the cars sold in the USA last year, okay? Maybe that gets to 3 or 4%. Maybe when Model Y comes next year, we get up to 5%. Maybe the year after that, we get it up to 10% plus. Maybe more. It could happen even faster. Maybe we get up to 15, 20% of the cars sold in the United States up to electric vehicles, okay? Then we start talking about some really, really big numbers, okay? And when a person is going to make that purchasing decision, okay, let's talk about that for a moment. If you're a customer and you're thinking about buying an electric vehicle, okay? You never bought an electric vehicle before in your life. You've never bought one, okay? This is your first electric vehicle. And you're going to make that purchasing decision. You're going to take out that loan of $30,000 or $50,000 or whatever it is to buy that electric vehicle. And it's your first one ever. Who's the first company you're thinking about? You're thinking about Tesla first and foremost, okay? So that's the first company that's going to come to customers' minds because that's what everybody knows. Like, if you're thinking electric vehicles, you think Tesla first and foremost. You're not thinking, I'm going to go buy a Ford electric vehicle. You're not thinking, I'm going to go buy a Chevy electric vehicle. You're not thinking, I'm going to go buy a Toyota electric vehicle or a Honda electric vehicle. No. Those are the first brands that come to your mind if you're thinking about an ICE vehicle. Like, if you're thinking about internal combustion engine, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go to those companies. Just like you wouldn't think if you were thinking about internal, like, let's say Tesla made like an ICE car. who would buy a Tesla ice car? Probably no one, because it's not the brand you know that makes quality ice cars. They're the brand you know for electric vehicles. So if you think about people's purchasing decisions and habits over the next 5+ years, as people buy more and more electric vehicles and people buy their first electric vehicles, the first brand name to their head over all others is the company that's been doing this for over a decade now, which is Tesla. And has been, if you buy, let's say Toyota comes out with an electric vehicle, or Honda, you're taking a risk. If you really want to buy a Toyota or a Honda electric vehicle, you're taking a risk because they've never done this before. They've made tens of millions or hundreds of millions of very highly successful ICE vehicles. But when you're doing electric vehicles, it's a whole different ballgame. So if you're thinking about, buying habits and things like that, first and foremost, the company you're thinking about buying an electric vehicle from is Tesla. They have the branding there. That's what they're known for. And even if you're talking to people that aren't really like up and up on Tesla and like vehicles in general and things like that, the average person still, if you say electric vehicle, the first thing that's going to pop in their head is Tesla. First thing. And that's just the average Joe. Never mind us that are more educated on like cars and like knowing about things like that and are investors and just kind of like see what's going on in the landscape. So, it's just, the whole debate on if is a stock going to $0 over the next number of years, is a stock going to $1,000 over the next number of years. I just don't think it's really a question of very realistic scenarios when you're talking about $0 per share. Like we talked about earlier in the live stream, Elon Musk has unlimited resources at his disposal, unlimited ability to raise money from companies, and a lot of people hate him for that. Let's be honest. Let's talk about why a lot of people hate Tesla, okay? And I don't want to say a lot of people. It's a percentage of the population, let's say, hates Tesla, hates Elon Musk, okay? By the way, hit thumbs up if you're enjoying this live stream, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. We'll end it here in a few minutes. I just want to get across this last point. Because a lot of people wonder, especially a lot of the bulls or just like Tesla fans in general, why would someone hate Tesla? Why would someone hate Elon Musk? I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's not just that they happen to have a negative, or a financial, basically they're incentivized for Tesla to fail. It's because this is a man that doesn't do business the traditional way. In the respect of traditional business, you build your business, you make a profit, you put that profit back into the company, and you build the company that way. Elon Musk, Tesla's been consistently losing money over the years, and he's raised money from outside investors. So a lot of people look at him and say he's just like a big Ponzi scheme, or he's not doing business the way it should be done. Business should be done by taking profits, reinvesting those profits, okay? And a lot of people like that. What the heck is that noise? Is that the radio? But anyways, a lot of people hate him for that, literally, because he's not raising money. Or excuse me, he is raising money. He's not doing business a traditional way in terms of you build the business, you make profits, you make positive net income, you plow that back into the business, and you build the business that way. He's raising money, and people hate him for that. They hate that he can consistently, pull this off where basically he can lose money and still the company survives. And like, how the hell does he do that? A lot of people hate him for that. A lot of people think that's not the way you should do business, man. That's not the way you should do business. Tesla should be out of business. They lose money every year. Look at their losses over the years. They should be out of business. And my thing is, just don't get emotional about it. Think about what it is. That's a pretty big feat in itself that he can consistently raise money and lose money on a company, okay? Like I said, not everybody can do that. He has special abilities to get investors to invest in him in the hopes of that will make a lot of money down the road. By the way, a lot of investors have made a lot of money already with Tesla, okay? A lot of people are in this stock since it was a $30 stock. I remember when Tesla was a $30 stock. I looked in the company for the first time. It was like 2012 probably. Well, that was the first time I ever looked into Tesla. So we went to a Tesla store and I actually saw the Model S. I don't even know if it was in production yet at that time. Might have been, might not have been. And they had like just on like the floor of the Tesla store, just like the body of the Model S. And I was like, dang, this is pretty cool. And I looked into Tesla as an investment. The shares were $30 a share at that time. Like I said, this was like 2012. Could have been 2011, but I think it was like 2012. It was a $30 stock. And I looked into the company and I was like, dang, you're doing some pretty interesting stuff around electric vehicles. But at that time, it wasn't as clear that electric vehicles were absolutely the future. Because this was like I said, 2011, 2012. And then on top of that, the balance sheet wasn't the best. And I kind of looked into this company and I wasn't sure. And then I re-looked into it about a year ago. And I was like, okay, it's clear electric vehicles are the future. It's clear Tesla's the leader there. It's clear autonomous vehicles are the future, autonomous driving. And if I look at who's doing the biggest things in the real world when it comes to autonomous vehicles, it's Tesla. So I put all these things together, and then you've got a man who has unlimited resources, who can raise money, and you start putting all these things together, and it made a lot of sense to buy these shares, okay? I wish I would have bought Tesla stock when it was $30 a share, but the future was not as clear. You were buying Tesla when it was $30 a share, you're like, you can like see the future or something, because that it wasn't as clear like Tesla would be able to make it at that time, and that like if you're taking a risk on Tesla now, it's a way less risk than when it was $30 stock. Like they had almost non-existent revenues at that time. They hadn't, the Model 3 was in the market, the Model X wasn't in the market, the Model Y, that was nothing. You know, like go back to 2012, like Tesla was nothing, okay? So, but anyways, I'm gonna end this live stream, guys. I could talk about Tesla all day. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great one as always. We got a live stream coming on the main channel on Sunday, so that's gonna be the giveaway day. So make sure you check out that, guys. Anyways, make sure you follow me on Instagram. That should be linked probably in the description. And other than that, guys, let me know if you enjoyed this live stream by hitting that thumbs up button before you go. I can do more of these in the future. So have a good